The city of Lagos has been unfolding as an outlier among other cities that makes up Nigeria for centuries. From the colonial era to being the federal capital and the growing mega city, Lagos has evolved as an example of economic prosperity and a symbol of excellence. This state is the most visited state in Africa. Welcome to Inside Lagos. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. To further expand the deliverables of democracy in Lagos State, Governor Babajide SANWO-OLU has presented the budget estimate of 1.388 trillion naira to the State House of Assembly for consideration. The proposal is 138 billion naira higher than the 2021 budget, which stood at 1.25 billion naira. The governor says the budget would focus on the completion of all ongoing projects in the new fiscal year. Lagos is the smallest state in Nigeria in terms of land mass, yet the most populous city and economic powerhouse of the country. Many believe that its rapid infrastructural advancement and human development set the city of aquatic splendor apart from the park as one of the most prosperous cities in Africa. In the last decade, socioeconomic growth has been astronomical, thanks to the forward-thinking approach to governance by successive governments in the state. For Governor Babajide SANWO-OLU, he has continued to raise the bar of leadership with his people-oriented themes agenda, bringing dividends of democracy to the doorstep of Lagosians. To further expand the deliverables of good governance ahead of next fiscal year, Governor SANWO-OLU presented the budget for the year 2022 to the State House of Assembly. Governor SANWO-OLU presented a total sum of 1.338 trillion naira to the Assembly, tagged the 2022 budget of consolidation, which he said will help consolidate the efforts of his administration for the past 2 years.
It's been 2.5 years since the administration came into office. In that time, I have come before you to present 2 annual appropriation bills, tagged the budget of awakening for 2020 and the budget of rekindled hope for 2021. We tagged the budget, the 2021 budget, which I presented to you slightly over a year ago on the 3rd of November 2020. The budget of rekindled hope, because in the aftermath of the monumental challenges that we experienced last year, caused by the global pandemic of COVID-19, and of course, the answers-related violence and destruction, our people demonstrated unparalleled resolve and determination to bounce back, given the trademark of a resilient Lagos and the great people of our dear state. Mr. Speaker, I stand before you to present the 2022 Appropriation Bill, which will be the final full-year budget before the next election in 2023. This makes it a very significant budget, which we have aptly christened as the budget of consolidation. 2022 is a year in which we will focus obsessively on completing ongoing projects, while also expanding our social intervention programs and support for our citizens and for micro and small, medium businesses. The 2022 budget is aimed at consolidating all of our efforts so far into timely delivery of our electoral promises for a greater Lagos to all citizens and residents of our dear state. Our destination is now in sight.
For the governor, budgets for 2020 and 2021 were used to improve the standard of infrastructure in the 377 wards across the state, in alignment with his administration's mission to eradicate poverty and promote economic growth through infrastructure renewal and development.
Despite experiencing one of the most challenging times in modern history in our beloved state, we have advanced in a manner that ensures that conviction of our progress is incontestable. The result speaks very eloquently in the various facets of our communities, even in the face of numerous devastation situations, which would have been acceptable justification for underperformance. Lagosians can testify to the improved standard of infrastructure delivered in all of our administration's 377 wards across the state, which align with the state's mission to eradicate poverty and to promote economic growth through infrastructural renewal and development. But we cannot afford to rest on our oars. We are therefore using this opportunity to again announce our commitment to delivering the Lagos of our dream, Africa's model megacity, a global economic and financial hub that is safe, that is secure, and that is productive. Mr. Speaker, as we make our financial projections into 2022, I would like to recap briefly the 2021 budget of Rekindled Hope, its objective, and the achievements recorded so far. But just before then, let me warmly and put on record the honorable members of the Lagos State House of Assembly for working constructively and tirelessly with the executive arm to achieve the objectives of our great party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, since we all assumed office. So I think this honorable house deserves a big round of applause for working with the executive to achieve all of the great things that we've seen in 2021.
Speaking at the presentation, the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, passed a vote of confidence on Governor Babajide Sanwo-OLU for the achievements of his administration.
This will be the last full-year budget to be implemented by this administration. Expectedly, the responsibility is now on the members of this honorable house to do the needful by meticulously performing our constitutional duty. Mr. Babajide Sanwo-OLU, permit me to commend your astuteness, courage, forthrightness, as well as your determined spirit, all geared towards a greater Lagos within the period you have been in office. No doubt you have maintained a track record of resourceful consistency in the state.
Mr. Obasa also praised the House of Assembly for its pro-people oriented and for constantly supporting the governor to meet the yearnings of the people of the state. To make cooking gas available and accessible, Governor Babajide Sanwo-OLU has inaugurated 40 metric tons capacity Ibile Oil and Gas Corporation at the Ikorodu area of the state. Governor Sanwo-OLU, Sir of Ikorodu, also witnessed inauguration of the new B.O. Benson housing scheme at IBESE. We were there. Ibile Oil and Gas Corporation is a wholly owned entity of the Lagos State government and an establishment under the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. Currently, with a population of more than 24 million people, less than 30% households use liquefied petroleum gas for their domestic purposes. Lagos State government's target is to increase LPG household usage to 80% by 2023, thereby reducing significantly the margin of the population that rely on firewood, kerosene, and charcoal, all of which are inconsistent with the global action on climate change. The gas plant is meant to serve three purposes, which include domestic, transport, and industry.
One of the measures which this plant will support is to promote an increase in adaptation of LPG for domestic uses in Lagos State. Currently, with a population of about 20 million, less than 30% households use LPG for their domestic cooking. Our target as a government is to increase the LPG usage to about 70 to 80% before the end of 2023. We believe this great target will significant reduction the margin of the population that relies on firewood, on kerosene and charcoal, all of which are consistent with global action on climate change. I'm not unaware of the current situation with regards to the high and increasing cost of cooking gas, not only in Lagos State, but also across the nation. This is totally unacceptable, as we run a risk of reversing all of the gains we have achieved over the years as a result of increased awareness by the populace on the advantage of using LPG for domestic cooking. I strongly believe that the federal government will do everything possible to reverse this trend and to ensure the availability and affordability of LPG for all of our domestic households. This is not the only plant. There are 2 other plants that we have also opened concurrently, and the plan is for us to increase it to 20. The budget to be able to do that, we'll have a conversation and see that we do that. Because indeed, it's when we reduce the cost of living, it's when we reduce the cost of and the burden of our citizens that the real dividends of democracy can be felt. And what better means can that be when people know that the cost of what is going to cost them to cook is even more important than the food himself or the foodstuff himself they are buying. So we need to reverse it. And we've done a lot of advocacy, we've done a lot of communication for people to understand and appreciate the benefits that comes with LPG. You know, the carbon footprints, the better health that it will give. So if we've done all of these great works for people wanting to do it, the least we can do as a government is not to now make it inexhaustible or inaccessible or inaffordable for them. So I want to commend the staff, the board and the management of IOGC for this successful completion of this gas plant, and to say to them that what we have promised our citizens, we cannot reverse it. You know, we have to go and look for the funding, we have to go and look for the space, we have to go and look for the opportunity to be able to replicate this in a lot of the other places, you know, in the state, so that the cost can indeed come down, and other investors that have been shying away, that I need to go and deal with the bigger ends, you know, it will also see that indeed there's a market for this thing and they can make the right investment.
Yes. Me?
Go your flash. Sorry.
We've got the sprinkler system, we have the gas detectors, we have the fire hydrants and fire extinguishers all over the place, all in a bid to ensure that the place is safe and can supply gas to 20,000 homes in Ikorodu.
This domestic LPG plant that you see today is one of 3 and 1 skid established by IOGC in Lagos State. The others are located in Amuwo-Odofin, Ikori and Alimosho. Our vision is to develop an additional minimum of 20 domestic LPG refill plants within neighborhoods across the 5 divisions of Lagos State over the next 15 months. As a state-owned LPG refill plant, IOGC has 0 tolerance for non-safe acts. We have implemented the standard safe operations procedure at all our plants, ensuring 100% compliance with the Standard Organization of Nigeria and all other federal and state government safety regulations for operating an LPG plant.
Ibile Oil and Gas will be the driver of the Lagos State government's gas expansion plan. From Igbobo, the convoy moved to IBESE. The governor is inaugurating another set of 480 housing units of Lagos homes. Here, Governor SANWO-OLU performed a new groundbreaking to build IBESE Housing Scheme 2. He also announced the 3,456 homes tagged a multi-worker city sitting on 20 hectares of land. The special housing package is for the Lagos State public servants.
Accommodation deficit is a challenge associated with all urban cities in the world over. The situation in Lagos is, however, challenging because of its mega city status and the limited area competing for various developmental purposes. We also see the massive migration of people from all over the Federation into Lagos, which certainly places a lot of pressure on available housing facility. And in order to cope with this trend, the state government regards it as a duty to keep building more homes to take care of the increasing housing needs of its residents. About 5 weeks ago, we commissioned an estate that was constructed through a joint venture arrangement in Lekki. Today, we're again here to deliver another set of 480 homes that is being provided through direct budget allocation. In utilizing these two strategies of partnership with the private sector and the budgetary allocation, we have been able to deliver 13 major housing schemes all over the state within the last 2 years. We are still counting because as I speak to you, work is ongoing on a number of housing construction sites all over the state. Apart from the one being commissioned here today, 3 housing schemes are virtually ready and awaiting commissioning at Songotedo, in Aja area, at Odo-Onosa, Ayondelu, and in Agboa. It is also our expectation that by the time this administration is making a 3rd anniversary, a total of over 7,000 homes will have been delivered to its people. And why are we doing this? Our ultimate goal is to build homes within livable surroundings and to create a livable communities where our values are protected and are cherished. Houses are good, but homes are ultimate. In developing and completing these schemes, we are putting in mind the total well-being of our people. We want our families to be nurtured in good environments and our children brought up within good settings so that the legacy of excellence can continue into the future. In line with our inclusive policy and our commitment to welfare of our workers, I'm happy to also announce that we're developing a special housing package for our workers in the state. The working class in the state, we see them as our strength and the strength of our being. These are our strongest assets and they are the oil that lubricates the engine of prosperity in our state. The best we can do for them is to reciprocate their contribution to the Commonwealth and is to promote access and home ownership for them.
Meanwhile, the governor renamed the 480 IBESE housing units of Lagos homes after the late legal luminary and illustrious son of Ikorodu, Babatunde Olushola Benson. This is B.O. Benson Housing Estate. Nordic Nigeria Connect is a unique opportunity for partnership between Nordic and Nigerian actors to innovate for change. This year's conference, themed Smart City Solutions and Circular Economy, focuses on smart and green city solutions for the megacity of Lagos. The conference brings together government officials, business leaders, and other stakeholders from Nigeria and the Nordic countries like Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark to discuss areas and opportunities for cooperation on issues of environment, waste management, clean energy, green transportation, and sustainable financing.
I would like to define it like this.
For Nigeria, Lagos is the destination because of the numerous challenges it's facing, like other megacities of the world.
According to international surveys, Finland is, among other things, the most digitalized country in Europe. I know there's a tough competition going on that among the European states. We are very much looking forward to partnering with you to fulfill your vision of a smart and circular Lagos, to co-create you, and just to make this happen together. Let's roll our sleeves and get to work.
The public-private partnership area looks at the issues of Smart Together, Challenges and Innovation Program to attract investors, This is part of what we're doing here. But it's also good to know the population of Lagos is greater than combined 15 African countries together. So you can see how big this place is. And we're not talking about Nigeria, only Lagos.
Small and medium-scale enterprises create jobs. Our young people are in need of support. They are energetic, they are brilliant, intelligent, creative, innovative.
The tens of thousands of young people.
Governor SANWO-OLU wants quick and lasting solutions to common problems.
Daily in Lagos, we generate over 13,000 metric tons of waste every day. It's clear to us that to achieve the level of efficiency that is required in managing the waste of the size of the city that we are talking about, the private sector must be part of it right from the center, while government focuses on regulation and support by way of infrastructure and technical capacity.
We can indeed have a collaborative tendency where government to government and government to business and business to business can indeed begin to work well in Lagos.
Nordic Nigeria Connect seeks to combine the ideas and solutions from the Nordic countries and Nigeria with participation by companies, innovation hubs, and financing instruments during the two-day event. And that's a package on this episode of Inside Lagos. Many thanks for being a part of it. But before we go, please get vaccinated. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi. See you next time.